Is there ever a good time to raise taxes? Well, here in the first week of November, the people of Northwest Allen County will be voting on an operating referendum to increase tax revenue to help out the school system in the area. Now, this is a tricky situation because typically I would never voluntarily raise taxes on myself, but if it's a good cause, maybe I'll reconsider. If you're watching this video and you've been driving around Northwest Allen County, you've probably seen yard signs, some that say vote yes and some that say vote no. Personally, I was not aware of the referendum or even the reasons why they wanted to raise taxes, so I did a little bit of research. While I was doing that research, I decided, well, I may as well share that with the public because there probably are other people who have questions about this particular vote. More importantly, I think this is a helpful piece of information that will be useful for people thinking about moving to the area. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Noye Dials. Me and my wife Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. If you go back and check out some of our other videos, we touch on a lot of things to do, places to eat, but most importantly, we talk about some of the best neighborhoods and areas in Fort Wayne to better help people with their research when they're thinking about moving to the Midwest. In this video, I'm going to tell you about my research and what I found. This is an interesting time in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now, I've been living here for 6 years. My daughter just graduated from the high school that services this area. So I have a very good working knowledge of what's going on. My first inclination was to vote no. That's just a principle that I typically take with me when it comes down to taxes. Property taxes in Fort Wayne, just like many other cities, have gone up. For some people, a little bit more than others. I wanted to double check the current property value rates and compare them to 2024 and 2023, 2022 and 2021, because from my memory, we've been increasing taxes every single year for probably the past 3 years. With those funds, we've been able to facilitate building a new middle school. Willow Creek Middle School will be opening up in 2026. At the time of construction, we were told that property taxes would not go up.
The entire project will cost more than $70 million, but officials say this won't increase the property taxes.
Financing our debt to lower the rates, and so this is coming on at a perfect time when our rate would normally drop. So while I say as our tax rates don't go up, the tax rate stays unchanged for the property holders. So we're able to do a massive amount of projects here.
Those advocating for raising the taxes would like to use the funds for a career technical education, stuff like CAD or drafting and mechanics and things like that. Fort Wayne Community Schools does have one of those. I'm not exactly sure if Southwest Allen County does have one. So that's a positive. They would also like to pay for extra staff. They would also like to increase wages for some of the teachers and pay for additional police officers. I forget what they're called that work at the school, but all of those things are great, and I am actually for a lot of those things. Northwest Allen County has done a pretty good job mapping out 10-year plans, what they plan on doing with the money. I dropped the link below for your reference, just so you can see it for yourself. Plus, they can do a much better job than I can of explaining all the things. But if you go to the link, I think this tells a much bigger story. Northwest Allen County has a lot of aspirations and goals, just like my teenagers that's in college. I appreciate the ambition of Northwest Allen County school administrators, but just like in economics, we only have a finite amount of resources and an infinite amount of wants. So we have to prioritize what we think is best to do right now, and maybe we need to delay some of the other things. Northwest Allen County has laid out a very comprehensive 10-year plan, which includes another elementary school and a natatorium. I was actually at the meeting back when the Northwest Allen County meeting was held just down the block from where I'm standing right now, and a lot of teachers in this area have been clamoring for the natatorium. There are some important things to note about this referendum when we compare Northwest Allen County to other school districts. The rivalry school district to Northwest Allen County is Southwest Allen County, and they already passed a referendum. But even if we zoom out a little bit further, Northwest Allen County is receiving a little less money than average school districts in the state. And that's actually kind of shocking given the fact that Northwest Allen County has done a lot more with less. So I really have to applaud the school district for doing as much as they have without having a referendum. And there's my confliction. Should they continue to do more with less? I'm not really sure. I've really been thinking about it a lot, and I still don't know which way I'm going to vote tomorrow. Now, this all sounds amazing, but anytime we talk about raising taxes, that is synonymous with rising cost. Americans for Prosperity in Indiana, a conservative political advocacy group, launched a campaign Tuesday at stopping the referendum by informing families of the potential long-term consequences. Their objective is to stop the referendum and force the government to make smarter decisions about the money that we already have. This group is arguing that the local government make better financial decisions to stop wasteful spending. And that makes a lot of sense too. So what do? Do we help out the community for some of those things that Northwest Allen County probably needs, or do we raise the cost of living a bit? So let's provide a little bit of context. Let's look at one more piece of data before I jump into my personal opinion. Since we're talking about property taxes, we should probably talk about property sales. Since January of 2024, 1,718 homes have been sold on the market here in Northwest Allen County. The median home price over that time period is just over $357,000. So that is above the state average, and it's the second most expensive area in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If I remember correctly, Northwest Allen County has a student population of just over 8,600 students and rising. This is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire state of Indiana. We have a lot of new construction going on. Willow Creek Middle School will be off of Shoaf Road. That is one of the most affluent areas in Allen County. It's right on the edges, the last area before you're pretty much going towards Auburn and Kendallville. Because home prices are higher than most of Fort Wayne, the property taxes that they collect would be higher than most of Fort Wayne. I believe this to be true because when they built Willow Creek Middle School, they said they wouldn't need to raise property taxes because they already estimated the increase in property tax revenue from all the new construction. So it kind of sort of feels like we're getting ahead of ourselves and putting things on credit before we actually have the revenue to do them, if that makes sense. One good reason not to raise taxes is the fact that energy costs has also gone up. So the Indiana Regulatory Commission or the Energy Commission or something like that, they petitioned the government to allow them to raise the price for energy per kilowatt hour. So they passed that last year. So everybody in Fort Wayne and the entire state of Indiana is paying higher energy costs. So bad timing about that. And we're starting to see other prices creep up, not just in Indiana, just across the board as far as consumer goods. The price of beef is up. I'm not exactly sure where we're headed for healthcare premiums. I personally feel extremely uncomfortable trying to make this decision because I don't have the complete picture. And unfortunately, I have until tomorrow to make this decision, and who knows where it goes. But if we add in the fact that the cost of living is going up across the board in so many different things at the same time, it doesn't give me a good warm and fuzzy, that's for sure. This is some heavy stuff, and it's not a bunch of doom and gloom. This is actually a good issue that we're expanding so quickly, and we want to offer the best thing that we can to our children, for example. Whether we vote to increase taxes or not, I do believe that we still will get this done, and I'll tell you why. Carroll High School has the Carroll Band, which always participates in Bands of America, and every year they do a hot pot raffle. The community always galvanizes around the Carroll Band to ensure that they have enough money to get new costumes, to get new decorations, and pay to enter that competition. And that's just the band students. So even if Northwest Allen County does not vote to increase the referendum to get some of these facilities built, I do believe that we still will build these things either through private donations or not. Now that's just my prediction because the community, as I've talked about many times on this channel, is really close-knit. For example, during COVID, we came together. Anytime there was issues at the high school, people in these neighborhoods came together and they made decisions. So with or without the government, I do see that Northwest Allen County will continue to persevere. I hope this information was helpful and informative. And now that you know a little bit more about Northwest Allen County School District, go back and check out my last video where I talk about the best donuts in Fort Wayne, and I'll see you there.